Hello and welcome to the Sunbirdcrochet podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from Germany. Today is January the 6th of 2024 and it's Epiphania Day, and it's the day where they celebrate Christmas in Italy, or it's called Bafana or Bifana. Bafana was the South African football game. What a great start. Okay, so today I've got for you 2 works in progress, 1 finished object, which I'm wearing, and a little bit about the book which I'm reading, and some incoming things, as always. Very diverse, and yeah, just a little bit of a chat at the end, I suppose. Also at the beginning, I must say, because let me just get you updated on what happened in the last couple of weeks before today and after last episode. I recorded last time on the 23rd of December, one day before Christmas, and we celebrated Christmas with the family, just my mother, my sister, my brother and I. Not my brother, my brother-in-law and I. And then the next day my godmother arrived and we celebrated, just my mother, my godmother and I, and we had the lovely roast and Thüringer dumplings, and it worked out very well, and as you've seen in the intro, they also look delicious. So I'm definitely going to make those again. On the 26th, yes, I'm German and English is not my first language, so I'm butchering the language now and then, so please bear with me. On the next day, my extended family came to visit, and we were quite a lot, and we were quite loud, and it was lots of fun. And we played a card game which is called Craigslist, and it's like city, river, country, or whatever the English name for it is. You get a letter and you have to find like a river starting with the letter M or a country starting with the letter L, these things. So just in form of a card game with some extra twists and turns, and with lots of unusual categories like swear words and animals with 4 legs and things like that. So it's really fun, and it was so much fun because we were 6 people playing it at the same time, so it was hectic. yeah, so yeah, and then I was supposed to go away for a couple of days. Or rather, I was supposed to be at home and then meeting Marie-Louise from South Africa in Cologne on the 29th. But I had an invitation to spend a couple of days in the snow. So sadly, the meeting with Marie-Louise didn't happen. And so we both had gathered a couple of things which we wanted to exchange, and I wasn't able to give it to her, but she sent off a little, or not so little as I found out today, parcel to me from her brother, where she was staying for the days while she was in Germany. Anyhow, long story, complicated, so I couldn't meet her. I bought her something from Naughty Habit, which is a wonderful, wonderful shop in South Africa. I bought her a voucher so she can make use of that voucher, and I think she found something which she ordered, so she will have something to look forward to when she comes home. I think she should be home by now. And yeah, I'm still very sorry, Marie-Louise, that our meeting didn't work out, but one of these days, either when you're visiting again in Germany or when I go to South Africa next, we will surely meet up. So I will share the parcel and what's inside at the end of the video. Thank you for being such a generous friend. And back to what happened. So I saw a bit of snow, and then my mother was hospitalized again with breathing problems, and we first thought, oh no, it's COVID or something with her lungs, and she went to the doctor. The doctor couldn't find anything and wanted her to get an x-ray of her lungs, and so we went to hospital. They found out that she had the water in the lungs, and so she had to stay there, and she had dizzy spells, couldn't breathe, and so on and so on. And I can happily say that she is home now again. Since yesterday, I drove her home, and a couple of days before, like, she came home on the 3rd or 4th of January, and she, not home, but she stayed with my sister for a couple of days, and then I brought her home yesterday. So that's the story, rather long story. Shall we go and talk a little bit about yarn? Yeah, I think so. So, whips. No! Finished object first. I'm wearing my finished object. This is my latest granny shawl. I believe I was working on it last time, and basically all I had to do was to weave in the ends. But let me just show it to you again, because I'm very pleased with the colors. The pattern, again, is the free pattern by Annabu's House. Granny wrap, which is for worsted weight yarn or Aran weight yarn, but you can use any weight of yarn, and just use the appropriate crochet hook and finish when you think it's big enough. So these yarns were Advent minis and leftovers. I can't remember all of them, but some of them, like these here, they were from Studio C Yarns, a German indie dyer. And I've woven in all the ends, and I'm wearing it. Oh, I'm also wearing today my ranunculus. Isn't it beautiful? Let me just stand up. There, if you can see it. So I'm very happy with these two makes. They make me feel cozy and all wrapped up in loveliness. It is quite cold here at the moment, and the forecast is that we are going to have snow and frost later today. And when I look outside, it's rather grey and miserable. So let's just pretend that this doesn't exist out there. So we're just focusing on the yarn and on the colors. Now the whips. I've got 2 whips for you today. The first one is my Alpine Bloom summer top sweater kind of thing. I've split for the sleeves, and until I split for the sleeves, I was using these 2 lovely yarn swirls, Violent Violet, or Shrieking Violet, and I don't know, I've lost the ball bands. This one I was working from outside in, and this one I was working from the inside out, I think. No, I lied. This one I was working in inside out. This one I was working outside in. So the darkest color combined with the lightest color of this one, and yeah. I will make a shawl with the rest of this, I think, but for now this will be put on the side because I've changed now to use the vintage color, no, not the vintage color, the vintage yarn, cotton yarn, which I've got from someone else's stash from the 80s, 1980s, and it's rather a nice cotton, and it happens to be almost the same color as that other cotton yarn. So let me just show it to you how it looks like. This is what it looks like. And I've split for the sleeves, as I said, but I put more stitches to the front than to the back because of the bust. So I have a little bit more space here in the front and not so much bulk on the back of my body. And maybe I show it to you again. To mark the back, I'm using the stitch marker which I've got from Makita as a gift a couple of weeks or months ago, and I'm still loving it, and it's marking the back of my top. So the Alpine Bloom jumper sweater pattern is by Caitlin Hunter, who's Boyland Knitworks, and it's meant for knitting. But I've talked about it many times. I never follow the rules. Okay, obviously these blooms are now bigger than if you would have knitted them, but I just finished off here, otherwise they would have gone on like another repeat. But I'm now moving on to using the vintage yarn here. Let me show you a little bit closer. And as you can see, maybe this yarn here has almost the same color as this yarn here. Right? So that works out fine. For the color work area, I was using extended single crochets here, and now I've moved on to moss stitch because that gives a lovely smooth texture for the jumper. And I will add on the sleeves once I've finished the body. At the moment they're just markers. How to split for the sleeves, you ask? Maybe when you're like me, you put this over your head and you mark the area here, the area there, and the same area on the back. And for the armpits, you just when you work in the round, you start making a chain where you've marked your first beginning of armhole, and then you chain a number of stitches so that this armhole looks big enough for your arm, and you connect to your yoke again where you marked the other side. Then you work the front or the back again, and then you do the same thing, same number of stitches on the other side, and then you continue to work on the length of your body, and you are going to look after the sleeves later. Sorry, I'm moving this around again and again. It was twisted. So my first whip, the Alpine Bloom sweater in crochet, is very well on its way. And this is a spring, early summer or summer top, and I think I will be happy to wear this. It's definitely a statement piece, so I won't wear it at work, but I will wear it at, I don't know, on summer yarn shows if they exist. So that's the first whip. And I'm going to throw it on the floor so that we can talk about my second whip. My second whip is my Klimt inspired but make it crochet cal blanket using all kinds of different yarns, even effect yarn, and this is how it looks like so far. I've blocked it, but it's still a little bit wobbly when you hold it up, but it's getting there, right? So this is the lady. This is inspired by the work Die Jungfrau by Klimt, and I'm just working my way like in modules, and I started here on this part, making swirls and adding things, and now I made these little elements and actually sewed them on top. With freeform crochet there are no rules, and this here is effect yarn, and I'm just happy I made these little rounds here to make it look like they are moving out of her, like thoughts were coming out of her head, happy thoughts, or maybe, well, she is a virgin, so Jungfrau means virgin, so maybe she has some dreams about her future and maybe she is in love, you don't know. So I will add many more elements to this. I've started making elements like these, just little elements. I'm going to add more like a half moon on one side, and then this is going to be attached to this. I'm just using up my little bits and bobs here. Also, I've made a little tutorial if you are about to make one of like a project like this and you would like to add more decorations. You could do things like that. That's a little freeform bobble, or not freeform, but like an afterthought bobble, because you thread these two strands of yarn through so that you can tie it on the back side, on the reverse side, the wrong side of your work, and then you sew in the ends if you want to. And on the front you would have a little bobble, like I'm thinking about maybe adding these to the centers of my little flowers, or maybe here like little dots on her dress. We will see. So at the moment I've made lots of those, they are waiting to be added. And those are little furry creatures. But if you use other yarn, then you can make them on all kinds of colors. And I was thinking, if you've got something like this, these shiny lametta kind of yarns, you could use these to zhuzh up, to reinvent one of your sweaters and make those a Christmas sweater. Just pretend that these are baubles, or you take a green sweater, and then you add these like you would decorate a Christmas tree. You know what I mean. So this is the idea, but not Christmas themed. This is Klimt themed. So yeah, works in progress number 2. Shall we talk about incoming? Or maybe I would rather call this section the friends around the world, the people who are influencing me and my choices and what I would like to read and things like that. And also maybe just what is on my radar, not just incoming things. So in no particular order, I've received a lovely Christmas card from Ruth, who has her own podcast, Counting Sheep. That's Ruth with her husband and Cooper, her dog. She also has a cat, and I highly recommend watching her podcast. She has a very calming nature, and I really enjoy watching her podcast. She's living in a beautiful place in Vermont on a farm, and she has a few of her own sheep, and she is a real talent in crochet, knitting, spinning, you name it. Yeah. So Ruth, thank you very much for your card. I had sent Ruth one of these Advent 24 opening doors cards. Nothing behind it except little pictures of gnomes, dwarves. But yeah, Ruth obviously gets lots of snow where she's living in Vermont. I hope you don't mind me showing the card, but I really, and it made me happy. It made me happy. And she wrote something lovely on the back of the photo of the card. So thank you, my friend. It arrived. And what else to talk about? One of my other friends, Marta, she had the Skein and the Stitch yarn advent calendar, and I had the Skein and the Stitch marker calendar, advent calendar. So it was exciting to watch Marta's yarn unpacking and what she made with the yarn. And she did that on a daily basis in December because she was doing Vlogmas, unlike me. So I believe that all her Vlogmas episodes are still uploaded and available for watching. I would highly recommend to do so. Marta Mitchell Designs here on YouTube. And the thing is, with the Skein and the Stitch advent calendars of both kinds, you were able to join a group on Discord, and it was meant to be a read-along of The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. And Marta was showing her 2 editions, which she owns. One is it's the one which is most known for the illustrations on the cover, and and the other one was one by the same story, but it was illustrated by Michael Haig, and it's an edition because I've got it here. I bought it secondhand and it's from the year, at least from 1997 or later, but I think around the late 90s it must be. And this is the Hobbit of that edition. It's beautifully illustrated. And my book was previously owned by Johnny because Johnny got it for his 7th birthday from his Aunt Jennifer and Uncle Michael. Johnny, this is an heirloom. Why do you sell these books? I don't know why Johnny wanted to get rid of it, but I'm glad that I got it now. It's beautifully illustrated, as I said, and the thing is that you've got your favorite scenes or chapters in The Hobbit, like in every book, I would say. And mine is out of a frying pan and into the fire. And they end up, well, I'm sure you know the story of The Hobbit. They escape the bad guys by climbing into the fir trees, and when the bad guys are setting fire to the fir trees, they are rescued by big eagle creatures flying them away. This, by the way, is Smaug the Dragon. The whole story is about the hobbits with the Hobbit, one Hobbit, with the dwarves going on a treasure hunt and experiencing lots of adventures of a dangerous kind. And this is the story on which The Lord of the Rings is based on. So that's incoming. It wasn't that expensive. But since this came from the UK, it took quite a while. I bought it on eBay. And yeah. Johnny's loss, my win. How old is Johnny? If Johnny got this, let's say in 1997, and he was 7 years old, he was born in 1990, so now he's 33 years old, turning 34 this year. Johnny, you should have given it to your children. Talking about books. After lots of thinking and listening to some of you, I've started reading The Murder on the Christmas Express. It's a book by Alexandra Benedict, and I am now in chapter 8 on page 48. I'm a quick crocheter but a slow reader. Not that I'm reading slow, but I really find it hard and difficult to sit down and do nothing but just read. I have to do something with my hands these days, and I can't read and crochet. So, decisions. At the moment, we've been introduced to the main characters. There's an ex-police woman she's on her way from, I believe, London up to Fort William in Scotland, where her daughter is giving birth to her daughter, and which brings bad memories for Ross, the detective or ex-police woman, because she conceived her daughter while she was being raped. So that's one of the main themes, the brutality of men. And then on the other side, you've got a whole mix of a bunch of people on a train heading towards Fort William in the winter. And there are some social media, whatever you call them, influencers, and some very strange and mean people on that train. And yeah, so far I don't like any of the main characters, and that might be my main problem with this book so far. I can't get invested if I don't like the main characters. Maybe this is why I'm reading it so slowly. But I will plod along. As I said, now I'm on chapter 8, and I believe I already know who's going to be murdered. We will see if I'm right or not. I certainly would kill that person if I would be a murderer. I totally see that this person is hated by many. You just see it coming. So that's my progress with this book. Now, what else to talk about? There are a couple of new crochet alongs which I would like to just kind of point at. The first one is Mystery Crochet Along, run by Expression Fiber Arts. She has her own very well-known and popular channel here on YouTube, and she is also publishing knitting and crochet patterns just like that. And most of them are free during the first week or so. I don't know the exact times, but she has beautiful, beautiful crochet patterns and knitting patterns. And she actually taught me how to crochet by, I used one of her snowflake tutorials. But that's a different story. So this Mystery Crochet Along is starting right now, I suppose. And I will link her video down below where she's doing the announcement. And I don't know if I will join, but maybe it's something for you. Then another crochet along, not so much a mystery, but it's run by Rosina, who is Zines and Rogers. She is publishing one of her new cardigan patterns, and it's a crochet cardigan crochet along. And you can choose one of her patterns, or you choose your own pattern. She's giving suggestions, and this is going to start, well, soonish, if not already. For some reason, I've got the middle of January in mind, but I will link her website down below. And what else? Some sad news and good news. The Crochet Project. I'm sure you all know the Crochet Project, but they closed their business only to then announce that they were bought up by another crochet enthusiast. And so this is going to be run by a different person basically now. And then there are quite a lot of different crochet alongs still running. I believe that the Mary Wallen Make Along is going to end at the end of February, which is run by the Fleece and Harmony podcast. This is, you're meant to create something designed by Mary Wallen, either knitted or crocheted. She has both kind of patterns. Oh yes, this morning, last but not least, this morning I was watching the Fleece and Harmony podcast latest episode, and they were announcing a year-long knit-along, and they are going to publish 2 square patterns each month. They're both colorwork patterns, and the one square will be a motif square, and the other square will be like a Selbu colorwork square. And they also give color suggestions using the worsted weight yarn, and I must say that they are gorgeous. Fleece and Harmony are based in Canada on Prince Edward Island, and the whole blanket, you will join the squares at the end of the year, you will join the squares together to make a blanket, will be PEI themed, so Prince Edward Island themed. And it's a beautiful idea, and what they are coming up with, the patterns are just mwah. And yeah, that's about it. I'm sure I forgot something. But if you know of an event, a crochet along or something new, then pop it down below in the comments and I will share it next time. Or people can read the comments down below. And yeah. Are you ready for Marie-Louise parcel? Because I don't want to wait any longer. I just had a little sneak preview into the box. Let me get it and then we will have a look. So again, thank you, Marie-Louise, for being such a generous friend. And I hope that what I sent to you, what I gave to you, was equal in value. I don't want to feel like I robbed you or, you know. So I will go now, open these things, and maybe I will have to send you something more. So, she mentioned she was going to give me some of her mohair from Stash. And I can already see it's beautiful. Rustling. It's this African Expressions Love. It feels like home. Luxuriously brushed for a soft touch. This is mohair yarn. And it's for a 5.5 to 6 millimeter hook or needle size. And it's approximately 100 meters. This is 78% mohair, 13% wool and 9% nylon. 50 gram. This color. And also this beautiful, like sage color. Beautiful. And then she gave me, the thread is so thin. It's obviously mohair, but I mean, it's really, really thin and soft and beautiful color. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8, a whole bag of beautiful green mohair yarn. Beautiful. Thank you, Marie-Louise. And that's not all. She put more inside here. 25 pattern cards and how-to book. Crochet cards on the go. I believe I saw this somewhere. Let's open this. Oh, there are little buttons, owl buttons inside there. And there's a bookmarker. Look at that. How cute is this? It's a little bear, a crocheted bear. Bookmarker. How cute. I will put this to my book and then I will use it for the book. Wonderful. And that's the book. A little how to crochet technique and guide. And then you get cards and you pick one, and then you say friendship bracelets. And on the back of it, it says how to make them. Or you're going to make a storage basket. Or a pear tote bag. This is beautiful. Thank you, Marie-Louise. So this is exciting. Let me just put it back, because that's not all. Oh, look. Look. The Lekker podcast. I know exactly. This is from Jarlene from the Lekker podcast. Another beautiful crochet podcast. And wonderful lady. So lots of stitch markers, and there's another button. So cute, a little alpaca, I would say. And more stitch markers. Oh, this is beautiful. A crochet project journal. This is very useful. It has the UK versus US terms in the front and the abbreviations and the symbols. And then you've got for every project some space to put on all the details and to make notes. Thank you. This will be very useful. And that's not all, because last but not least, my favorite chocolates from South Africa. Can you guess? If you've lived in South Africa, you surely know what it is. It's peppermint crisps. Ooh, I love those. And we used to make, like we crush them up and then you have them together with some cream and chocolate mousse as a dessert. I can't wait. I had my last peppermint crisp 23 years ago. No, 20 years ago. I left South Africa in 2003 and I haven't visited since, but I think it's high time. I've got some wonderful people I want to see. So, peppermint crisps. So thank you very much, Marie-Louise. I hope that I was able to give you joy, even though I still have the things which I have collected for you here. I hope that the voucher I sent to you so that you can find yourself something with Minzi from Naughty Habit, that you feel happy with that as well. And with that, I think it's time for me to close up this podcast. I will lie down. I've got a little bit of a headache coming up. That's due to the weather changing. And I will lie down a little bit. I'm going to have a cup of tea. And then I'm going to edit this episode and upload it for you. And then I might take another nap. Thank you. Thank you for all your kindness, your lovely comments, and for subscribing and checking me out here and maybe staying for a while and becoming friends. And keep safe, keep looking after yourself, and I will talk to you soon again. Bye.